What's up, people? Happy Saturday. Welcome to Wealthy Conversations. Wealthy Conversations is a segment of the Finance Rebel Show that we do every Saturday where we talk about how do we get to this money? How do we get to this wealth? And today we are going to talk about what's going on in the markets. I know that's top of mind for everybody, so I figured why even play around? Because I was going to do a continuation of last week's show, which was budgeting. But I know y'all third grade kids that can't sit still in school. So y'all antsy. I know y'all want to talk about these markets. So I figured we might as well talk about these markets. Just want to say some quick hellos real quick before we start getting into everything. Dave Foster out on IG, how you doing? Guy 198 on IG, how you doing? Ace Studio Lounge, how you doing? TK Blue says, curious on your thoughts about AMC specifically. I brought in low before the hype, still holding for now. Okay, we'll definitely get into that. Hold that thought. Do me a favor, throw that question in the question mark section on that ID. Just copy and paste that, so I don't forget it and don't miss it. I don't want to miss it. It's a great question, actually. Miss Ty, EA, one of my tax sisters. How you doing? Hope everybody is well. I see folks are starting to pile in on the Facebooks and YouTubes as well. Don Johnson is in the building, so we can officially start now. What's up, Don? How you doing? Happy Saturday. Mark Daniels on What You Talk Connection, or one of my What You Talk Connections. Adrian, how you doing? Juanita Thomas, how are you? Happy Saturday to all. Y'all see I'm rocking my Good Beard Day hat, supporting Black-owned businesses as always. It's very important. Marcus Williams, what's up, man? How you doing? Ain't seen you in a while, brother. I hope you're still running. You be inspiring when you post those runs. So that's neat. Blessing y'all health as wealth. A lot of times we focus on the money, on the dollars and cents, and those bills that fold. But we got to start moving so we can move the blood, get the hearts going, and so we can enjoy some of this money that we get into, y'all. So, the White, how you doing, sir? Happy Saturday. Welcome to everybody that's here. Before we get into everything, listen, many of these shows are being pre-recorded, and these shows are being recorded, and they will also be up on the podcast. So make sure y'all go on over to the Finance Rebel Show. You can find it on podcast platforms, Spotify, Spotify, iTunes, Google, Stitcher. You can find them all there. So do me a favor, go on over there and give me a like and a rating and a review. All right, so who's been watching the markets? I'm sure everybody's antsy. I'm sure everybody's like, what in the world is going on? All right, so before we get in that, I want to read y'all a quote. Y'all know I get my bearings every Saturday. I'm still in the ice age. I'm still the guy that loves to read his actual paper. I do have some stuff on digital. I can read this on digital, but it's nothing like the feel of reading a real book or reading a real newspaper. So I enjoy it. Hey, Trey 3, what's up, Trey? Front page. Barron's, Squeeze Play. Everybody's talking about it. It's that made financial news. Now it is now in mainstream news, so everybody's talking about it. But there was something in one of the articles that caught my attention, and I want to read that to y'all before I get going on my market rundown and the other stocks we're going to talk about. So this says Wall Street's bet might be new, but bubbles and bust are not. All right, so listen, I tell y'all this stuff happens all the time. I've been telling y'all that the whole time. I've been trying to do a good job of keeping y'all abreast. Like with the whole Robin Hood thing, I kind of told y'all some of that stuff was going to happen before it happened. But we'll definitely get on to that. But this quote really caught my attention. So it says, every age has its peculiar folly, some scheme, project, or fantasy into which it plunges, spurred on by the love of gain, the necessity of excitement, or the mere force of imagination. So wrote Charles Mackay in the classic Extraordinary Popular Delusions and the Madness of Crowds in 1864. I'm going to read that again. Every age has its peculiar folly, some scheme, project, or fantasy into which it plunges, spurred on by the love of gain, the necessity of excitement, or the mere force of imagination. So wrote Charles Mackay in his classic, extraordinarily popular Delusions and the Madness of Crowds in 1843. So listen, all this stuff happens over and over and over again. I like to cite the Tulip Crisis. A lot of people don't like that. They hate when I do that because I'll be talking about some of their favorite assets like Bitcoin or crypto. So, you know, I got hailed and called the crypto hater, the Bitcoin hater in 2017 when it dropped from that 20,000 on down. But I said, you know, everything that's happened in the past will happen in the future. There's nothing new under the sun. You got to start learning that. And a lot of times we get hyped because we don't take the time to really follow along and study history. I mean, if you really love the markets, you got to study all of it, not just be in it for the quick flip and trying to get some money and put it in your pocket. There is jewels in historic facts. Again, there are jewels in historic facts. Take the time and just read some of them. You'd be surprised at how much of the same thing happens time and time and time again. Human history, even with all the new technology, or excuse me, I shouldn't say human history and human behavior, right? Human behavior with all of the technology is still human behavior. Still, people run on fear and greed, which drives the markets. People run on high emotions, which again drives the markets. What happens when those emotions go cold? All you gotta do is look at a stock chart over a 5, 10, 20-year period. You can look at the highs and lows. You can see it. Happens every time, y'all. Happens every time, y'all. So let's talk about the markets real quick. The S&P 500, which we use to measure the overall stock market, closed this week at 3,714 points. All right, it was down week to date 3.3%. Now the stock market, S&P 500, is down year to date 1.1%. Seeing a lot of fluctuation, a lot of things are going on. Again, a lot of people still are uneasy. All right, we're starting to see vaccines roll out, which is causing some folks some fear or allaying some fears. But nonetheless, it's still an issue. By the way, let me take this off. I'm starting to get hot now. I always got to try to protect the bald head because I get cold sometimes. So I got to keep the heat from escaping. All right, so oil closed at $52.14 a barrel. Again, $52.14 per barrel. Really wasn't down much week to date or these last 5 days. It was down 0.5%. That's immaterial. That's nothing. All right, so oil is still up 7.58%. All right, gold closed at 1849, again 1,849, down 39 percentage points, down 0.39 percentage points. All right, and gold is down year to date a negative 2.36%. Again, a negative 2.36%. So stock market's down, oil's flat, gold's down. Tells you the money's starting to circulate in other places, particularly. All right, so we see all these flash in the pan stocks that are up. You know, your GameStops, your Tootsie Roll. Right now, I saw it the other day, and I just had the 69 boys. The Tootsie Roll, like that's stuck in my head now. It's like a whole earworm. So, but it's up this week, and it looks like the Reddit crowd is starting to push that up. But we'll get into that in a second. I want to go back in and speak to everybody that I didn't speak to. Right. Be a good host. My mama always told me when people come into your home, you speak. But my mama also told me when you go into people's homes, you also speak too. So, yeah, Trivago and Tootsie Roll, yeah, amazing. Hey, Katisa, how you doing? Hey, Angela, how you doing? The White says a walk down Wall Street gives a great history on stock markets. Yes, it does. Curtis Davis, how you doing? Welcome. Good time to buy the dip. Maybe. Depends on what your overall strategy is. All right. True Beauty QB. How you doing? Good morning to you. DJ Straight Live. What up? Good afternoon. Excuse me, y'all. Good afternoon to you as well. How are you? Hope everybody is good this morning. Love Shy, how you doing? Welcome. Joy Monique, how are you doing? This is Gills, I think that is. Sorry if I messed up your name. And Bugs McCoy, how you doing? Vivid, Laurel. Again, I apologize if I say anybody's name wrong. Once again, if you are just now joining, I'm Kamari Ellis. I'm the Finance Rebel. This is the Finance Rebel Show. Every Saturday, we do our wealthy conversations, right? We do it every Saturday at noon. Every Saturday noon, I like to have a conversation with us, people in my audience. Y'all know who y'all are. Most of y'all look like me. A lot of us are not having these conversations. But to start getting the mental juices flowing, the intellectual juices flowing, to say, hey, there are other ways that I can make money. Hey, there's other ways I can protect my money. Hey, there's other ways I can leave money for my children's children. So we talk about it all here. So at the end of the day, the show is all about helping people understand money better so they can take better control of their money and help raise the IQs, the financial IQs of people. All right, so do me a favor, share this with someone. And also do me a favor, I'm fighting the algorithms. I've been looking at some of my video views and they have been down, y'all. So one of the best ways to get video views up is to tell the algorithms, hey, we like this content, we like this video, we like this guy. So give me a like, leave a like, smash the like button, as many of those who love to create content say all the time. All right, so. Oh, all right, so DJ Sean T. All right, thank you, sir. My man Eric, how you doing? My dude tuned in, me and Keith were just talking about, yeah, matter of fact, I got to give Keith a call. Eric, how you doing? Happy Saturday. Black Legacy is in the building. How you doing? Dre Day as well. So, all right, so we ran through our market rundown. If anybody missed it, you can always go watch the replay. Just make sure you put replay in the comments, hashtag replay. But let's talk about a couple things, because this week wasn't all just about GameStop. It wasn't all just about AMC. Apple reported earnings this week, y'all. Had a blockbuster quarter, probably the biggest quarter they've ever had. $100 billion in sales. Excuse me, I just misspoke. $111 billion in sales. All right, that was up 21% from last year. Crushed it. They have 1.6 billion total installed devices. So that means they have 1.6 billion devices in the hands of their customers. That's bananas to me. I mean, iPhone revenue alone was like $65 billion this last quarter, up 16% from last year. I mean, sorry to all my Android fans, this ain't for y'all, so just close your ears. Stay tuned, but just close your ears for a couple of minutes while I talk about Apple. Y'all know I got an iPhone. I'm broadcasting live my iPhone on IG right now, iPad, everything else. So, yeah, Apple is doing the damn thing. But it seems like Apple got overshadowed because it's not sexy, cool, and fun this week because all the millennials on Reddit are talking about GameStop. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Tesla. Now, y'all know I like to talk about Tesla, not so in the great way. But listen, they made money this quarter. They did 10.7 billion in sales. They delivered about 509,000 vehicles. They originally were expecting to do 500,000 in vehicles and deliver 500,000 cars. They delivered 509,000 cars, so they're producing. They made in profits $270 million. So they 10 billion with a B, 10 billion with a B. 10.7 billion is what they did in sales. Profit, 270 million. For everybody that's listening, y'all think that's good or bad? I mean, some people say Tesla is a technology company. I still say Tesla is a car company because that's where they make the majority of their money. I understand they have other projects going on and other things that soon come to fruition. However, they still make their bread and butter from cars right now. So 270 billion is slim to me, but they're profitable. They're profitable. I think that's 6 quarters straight in profitability for Tesla. Okay, I know everybody loves it. It's all gravy. It's all gravy. So Vivid Laurel said bad. So he said he thinks that's bad. I would kind of think that too. So TK Blue, a lot of people actually think Apple stock is undervalued. I think the multiple or the PE ratio, we talked about that before in the past, is only about 37-ish. I need to go back and look, so don't hold my feet to the fire on that one. But you arguably could say Apple is the best company in the world. They've got great management. They have great marketing. They have great products. They have like the ultimate trifecta. So what more can you say? I mean, Warren Buffett even said that Apple is probably the greatest company, or he said it is the greatest company on the globe, not just in the country, on the globe. So it's interesting. What's up, E-Blinket? Either Pfizer or Moderna vaccines fight off mutated strains. Yeah, but they're also talking about J&J's new vaccine. J&J's new vaccine that supposedly doesn't need the same level of transportation, or it doesn't need the same accommodations for transporting it, especially to some of these further out places. So that's starting to look good too. But I don't think it has right. Thank you, TK Blue. And also single dosage. So a lot of people like that because the Modernas and the Pfizers need double dose, from what I understand. So it's pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting. Mrs. Gills, I've glanced at MVO, and I think that's how it's pronounced. I'm not sure. It's actually in my neck of the woods because I'm in the Philadelphia area. I know they got a bunch of money from DOD to do some research, but I'm not totally sure. I would have to go back and look at that. I don't want a lot of y'all say that, yeah, it's great, and hype y'all up like some of these other so-called social media gurus. I try to always tell y'all the truth. So I haven't quite looked at it yet. All right. So everybody's been talking about GameStop. Everybody's like, this is the revenge of the millennials over there on Reddit. But what I find really, really interesting, right? What I find really, really interesting is that nobody thinks that there's no real big money in this, or no institutional money in this. I find that fascinating, right? So I've been looking at it again, haven't had a good chance to really do a super deep dive into it as I'm looking for the notes that I wrote now. But there are some companies, some big companies that are profiting from this, and it's not just the millennials. Well, and you know what? Let me make a comment. Everybody's talking about Reddit. Most times, all these people over there on Reddit with these like usernames, you have no idea who they are. None whatsoever. Nope, not a clue. So you don't know if it's some guy at a hedge fund that's actually helping to manipulate the trade, and the guy that's in there is yelling fire just to get everybody riled up. Because many times for these institutional companies, you don't know what their positions are, at least for a quarter. So everybody thinks that it's just the millennials, it's just the Reddit crowd. But there's a guy on there with a handle called Super Long Head 89 Loves Anal 69, and he's pumping up everything. And it's like, well, who's he? And he could be some guy that's in a Russian hedge fund or a Russian investment fund. Has no one ever thought about the prospect that the Russian bots could be involved in this? Again, I haven't seen a whole lot of commentary on this. Everybody's just saying it's the millennials. Now, I have no doubt in my mind millennials are a part of this. But what I'm saying is there's a lot of cash moving around, more than we usually ever see. Do we think that's just all the Reddit crowd? Do we think that no institutions are getting involved? I mean, but when you look at GameStop, there is a company called Sinvest. It's a Canadian company that started to buy in October of 2020. Now, I am not trying to suggest that they are behind any wrongdoing, so I just want to be clear. But you gotta wonder that this group is making money. They're a hedge fund. And the Reddit guys are saying we're raging against the hedge funds. We're fighting against the man. But you're also at the same time making the man or one of the men rich. So that seems kind of counterproductive to me. Now, we all know Melville Capital was shorting the stock, right? I get it, right? They had the cover. I talked about stocks, or I talked about shorting in the last video. Well, I think it was the last video I did, where I talked about the GameStop phenomenon. I talked about it, and I broke down shorts, short interest, short squeeze, which all kind of play a factor into that. If y'all have not watched that, go on over to my YouTube page and watch it. By the way, if you like the video, give it a like. All right, but nobody's talking about that at all. I find that super interesting. So you mean to tell me all these billions and potentially trillions of dollars moving around, and I've seen like maybe one article about this company. Again, most of the attention is on Reddit. Most of the attention is now on Robinhood. Now, I've seen a lot of posts about Robinhood. A lot of people were afraid about or mad at Robinhood because they only allowed you to sell. I told y'all that was going to happen too, right? But here's the thing. Again, very interesting. Robinhood was not the only one. Robinhood, TD Ameritrade, Charles Schwab. Also, there's a company that I use with my investing for some of my clients. I don't have that much money I manage anymore, but their name is Interactive Brokers. They are the company that handles a lot of transactions for big hedge funds. They're huge. They prohibited the buying of GameStop as well. So what people have to understand is that when these companies get licensed, right? When these companies get approval from regulated bodies, i.e. the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, which the head of the Exchange Commission is appointed by the president, right? So it's a very political position. It's a very political agency. The United States does not like turmoil in the markets. So we can get mad, or y'all, I ain't mad. Y'all can get mad, right? Because this is basically the playbook. Y'all can get mad at what happened, but that's exactly what happens all the time. I mean, there are other stocks that have gotten halted. Now, some people are complaining, well, why couldn't you buy? Or why didn't you just halt it altogether? Well, because they thought there was something manipulative happening to the stock. And if you look at, oh man, I wrote it down and find my notes. If you look at how much GameStop is up this year, you got to ask yourself, is this a manipulation? So GameStop, for all y'all who didn't know, for all of y'all who's been heads under the sand, GameStop stock price is up 1,600%, actually 1,629% to be precise and exact. 1,629 percentage points since the beginning of the year. So since January 1, the stock is up 1,629%. Stock doesn't make, or the company rather doesn't make a penny. The company is not profitable. Now, as I traverse these cyberspaces and these interwebs, I'm seeing some millennials tell me that the old school way of analyzing a company is dead. Dead, I said, dead. Okay. And I said to one of them in particular, I said, well, GameStop doesn't make any profits. He said, profits don't matter. I said, profits don't matter. These are all companies at the end of the day. At the bare bones, when we are investing, I'm not talking about traders. I'm talking about investing. We're investing into businesses. We become part owner in these businesses when we buy stock. You are buying stock. I mean, excuse me, you are buying a business. You are investing in a business. Don't you want to invest in something that's going to make money? Now, there are times where the market, the actual market and the actual business, right, they dislocate, meaning that they are not on the same accord. It's almost like a husband and wife. Wife want to go shopping, husband want to go watch a football game. What do? Well, somebody got sacrificed. Something has to happen. But if not, if they can't figure it out, they go separate ways. So you see that happen a lot in investing from time to time. Things go separate ways. Things get kooky, like now. Even with Tesla, y'all know I talk about Tesla. I'm gonna own it. If Tesla becomes the darling baby for the next 25 years and actually turns a profit, I will say I was wrong. But as it stands right now, Tesla to me is not a good company. They don't really generate that much in profit. Yes, I know they've been profitable for the last 6 quarters now, barely making over 200 million in profits each quarter. And I know y'all saying 200 million. Well, they're generating 10 billion now in revenue. So when you look at the relevance, they're not even 50% margin, 5% margin. They're like way off, way off. So they're not making a whole lot of profit. If you're not making profit at some point, when the VC money runs out or some of the private equity money runs out, you don't have any money. If you don't have any money to pay your employees, who is going to fund the business? Do you expect your workers to say, I'm going to work for free, but I still got to buy food and diapers and formula for my babies at home. I still got to pay rent. I still got to buy, pay for the electric bill. Doesn't really seem realistic, in my opinion. So profits are important, y'all. Profits are important at some point because, again, if the company's not profitable, it will not cease. It will cease. Excuse me again. Let me correct myself. It will cease to exist. So, again, a lot of people, I think, are a little delusional. A lot of us are in for the short term. Now, I'm going to tell y'all what I call all this. Some of y'all may not like it. I call a lot of this entitlement. And I know you're going to say, well, the hedge funds can do this and they can do that and they can get away with this. But yeah, but do y'all know how much hedge funds and institutional companies get fined? They get fined all the time. Robinhood just got fined. What was Robinhood's fine? Can anybody tell me that? I just talked about it and I forgot it that quick. I talked about it the other day. But they just got fined. So, so we got a bunch of people. Robinhood got fined 65 million bucks for not having good execution. So these companies get fined a lot. It's not a rare occasion. So just keep that in mind. It's not a rare occasion. So, everybody's like, again, the hedge funds can do this. And then we're seeing some of the big names that are big on social media that have never studied economics, accounting, finance, the stock market. A day in their life are all raining on this, and it's becoming this one big echo chamber of saying, you're supporting the hedge funds. No, not really. It's a stated operating procedure. And listen, I don't have a problem with the hedge funds. I don't have a problem with the individual investor. I think if y'all know me, I ride for the individual investor. All my stuff is geared for y'all, those who are watching now. But listen, we can't get so out of whack and so consumed with our greed that we start to say, oh, Robinhood's bad because they halted trading. Well, it wasn't just Robinhood. Why is nobody else talking about anybody else but Robinhood? And then they try to pitch this story that because one of Robinhood's biggest investors is a hedge fund, that Robinhood's in favor for the hedge funds. But they don't talk about anybody else. Again, the TD Ameritrades, the Charles Schwabs, the Wells Fargo, right? Wells Fargo was the first one. Now, when I saw Wells Fargo do it, I said there will be more. Because nobody wants to smoke with the SEC. Nobody wants any fines right now. Everybody's trying to, keep their head down and get to their bag, respectively. But, it's not just a Robinhood thing. Now, I've had my issues with Robinhood before, but I've never said that Robinhood is a bad platform or they're treating people badly, right? I haven't said that. I won't say that. They're a brokerage firm that operates as an app, right? Let's not get misconstrued. They are a brokerage firm that operates as an app. They are not an app that operates as a brokerage firm. So let's keep that in perspective. They still have to answer to the alphabet boys. They got to answer to the SEC. So yes, it's cool to act like petulant children when you don't get your way and throw a temper tantrum and say, oh, Robinhood wouldn't let me sell my stock. Okay. But do y'all actually know who's buying the stock? We don't know. Clearly, one of the hedge funds is buying the stock or has bought the stock. They clearly have a position. And we won't know how many other hedge funds have jumped in till the quarter ends. So you got to keep that all in perspective, y'all. Keep that all in perspective. I'm telling folks, to ignore the noise. But guess what I always do? I always tell people to ignore the noise. Back in February, I was thinking about this because, I get told I don't talk enough trash, right? I don't talk my ish enough. But back in February, I got interviewed on the news and people were asking me, what should they do about the stock market? The stock market started to fall. I said, don't panic. Don't panic. Don't panic. You should never panic in these types of situations. Actually, you should never panic anyway. But, that's also a trained response. You have to unlearn to panic, right? To actually understand why you don't want to panic, because you want to be able to keep a level head at all times so you can make the best possible decision with the information that you have at the time. Again, don't panic. Don't panic. I know that's not sexy because, people want you to be up in arms. Society likes seeing people get cussed out. We pass around fight videos because when there's fighting and cussing, people usually are panicking, right? They're up in arms. Women's get Galis. Let me know if I'm saying your name wrong. Don't panic. Please don't panic. At the end of the day, all of your money shouldn't be in one thing. So you should already have precautions and safeguards built in. So you shouldn't panic. So let's talk about a couple comments real quick so I can stay in touch with y'all. Is it Niche Group or NYCH Group? So they're not mad at Robinhood. TK Blue retail investors are impacting, but there's big money behind us. Yes, exactly. But I don't think people understand that. SPEK2, how you doing? Welcome. There's definitely retail people in the market. I read a report somewhere that said that out of all Robinhood investors, like 4 out of 5 own a share in GameStop. 4 out of 5. That's like almost 90%. Somebody do the math for me. What's 4 divided by 5? What's that percentage? E. Blinken says they will never let you one up them. So I don't think it's about one upping them, right? I think it's about understanding the system, which a lot of us don't want to take the time to do. We just know it's bad. We just know it's racist, classist, hatredism, right, is in there. But when you understand the system, we have thank you, Marcus Starworth. By the way, welcome, 80%. We have all the tools that we need to leverage and exploit the system that just about everybody else has. Maybe not the money, but guess what? The tax code, y'all know, talk about me some taxes. The tax code gives a lot of us different advantages and different leverage points when we do the things that are in the tax code that benefit you, i.e. being a business owner, i.e. being an investor, especially a real estate investor. This country was founded by entrepreneurs, not revolutionaries. I know everybody likes to say that. The whole reason for the Revolutionary War was over what? Taxes and freedom. But really, again, let's go to the taxes. They didn't want people taking their money. They didn't want people taking their bread. So they said freedom. No taxation without representation. Freedom or death. Because all of them, most of them were farmers or some kind of blacksmith or some kind of horse trainers, all kinds of trades, again, but they were all businesses. They were entrepreneurs. So entrepreneurs band together to protect their stuff. I told you I'm trying not to cuss. So y'all got to think about that. And we have to align ourselves with those things that make sense. Now, I'm not talking about doing anything unethical. Y'all know I believe people over profits all day long. Again, people over profits all day long. We shouldn't do anything to harm people. That's why I hate private prisons. But we have to look and say, are we being strategic about a thing? And many of us are just being reactionary. Why are we being reactionary? Because we have not done enough research and educating ourselves to become proactive. The power is in the now, by that famous book by Eckhart Tolle. The power is in understanding what you can do now to take control of your situations. So E. Bleakneck says Robinhood is counting their days. I don't think so. People have short memories. They get over stuff. I think they'll be all right. Okay, so TK Blue says it's alarming how many people are blindly investing. Well, they're not investing, they're gambling, spending their last and taking out loans to purchase shares of GameStop at $300. It's unbelievable. It is, but it's predictable and it happens all the time. Vivid Laurel says, "What's a good stock app to use for beginners?" Robinhood's good. Cash App is good. I hear M1's good. I've never used M1, but I hear it's good. Eric 97. What's up, Eric? Oh, is that my Eric? Perk, baby. How you doing? We got FLC in the building. Alexandria, how are you? What do you think about healthier choices versus Philip Mars? I don't know what healthy choices is or healthier choices. Is that a stock versus Philip Mars? And Philip Mars is now a trio. Oye, I don't know how to say your name. Pro Live. I don't want to mess it up. Press J2, how you doing? Welcome. All right, so you gotta keep your eyes open. One of my favorite broadcasters is a cat by the name of Joe Madison. He calls himself the Black Eagle. And he said, you got to be able to hear, see, and think with your third eye. And so that takes some research too, y'all. We got to be informed folks. We can't just go running around, jumping around, screaming, oh, it's a travesty. They're taking advantage of me. You don't know the rules in the first place. You never took the time to really get involved and study. Study. Everybody. And so when I say entitlement, I'm saying people just want free money because they don't want to do the work. They don't want to study. Then try it out. Then come back and study some more. And then we want to talk about the man. I'll be honest, y'all. I ain't got time to talk about the man. And that does not mean I am not aware of what the man has done. I'm a big history advocate. I'm a Black man first. But at the same time, we have to be about the business of getting busy. So, like I said, we always have to study our history. We always have to honor our ancestors. We always have to keep our people in a place of reverence, love, and respect. However, you also got to know when your people are bugging too. A lot of times people are bugging. Can I say bugging? Or is that too old school for y'all? All right, so let's check in with some more folks. Tiffany Thomas is in the building. Hey, Tiffany. Hey, Ms. Edith, how you doing? You missed the beginning? Here with the grandkids. Listen, family first. Family first. I ain't mad at you. All right, Curtis City says Apple fell this week. Yeah, they fell. I don't know if I would say it's on sale, but it definitely fell. I think Apple is one of the, and this is not investment advice. Again, hear me, this is not investment advice. But if you like Apple at 400, when people were buying it at before, what is it like, 137 now, 140 now? Sounds look good to me. Not investment advice. Not telling you to buy. Yeah, but see, if I'm talking about it, I've been talking about it. So she's talking about AMC theaters, Bed Bath & Beyond, and Nokia. They all have been pushed up. So I'm gonna bring the screen up in a minute. We'll kind of go through them. The White says the buzz is if Apple will get into the e-car market. They're already there, and Microsoft's there too. So they're definitely going to be button heads, right? And Facebook announced earnings this week as well. Remember, earnings season is the 4 times a year that a company comes out and releases their earnings, the money that they made, the money or potentially the money that they lost to their investors. All right, those are key times. Those are times we should definitely be studying and paying attention. But again, Apple is definitely going to do an e-car. Facebook announced too, and Facebook, where Mark Zuckerberg basically said that Apple is their biggest competitor because Apple is giving their users, 1.65 billion device owners, more power to control what ads they see, to control what data is given away. If y'all don't notice, all our data is being sold, and we don't even get to participate in the selling of our own data just by being on these platforms. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Virgo Life says Android users and they fail. Yeah. They stay well, but Apple, I mean, to be fair, Apple users are neither one of the people own the stock, right? Android users should own Samsung if they really feel that kind of way, or at least Google, right? They should own Google. All right, so but Steven says, I got an Android and an Apple product. No worries, you ain't hurt my feelings. I know that's right. Let them know, sister. Christopher Allen, how are you? Good morning, Kamari. Apple is a great company. It is. It truly is. Now, if y'all remember when Steve Jobs died, they said Apple was going to fall off because the current CEO, who is, oh man, I can see his face. Guy who wears glasses, white guy who wears glasses. I can't think of his name. It'll come. Tim Cook. Tim Cook was there. They said Tim Cook was not the visionary of Steve Jobs. What people didn't recognize is that Tim Cook spent a whole lot of time working with Steve Jobs and had already done a yeoman's level of work with getting products like the iPhone up the code, up the speed, getting so on. So a lot of times we focus on the figureheads. We focus on the spokespeople. We don't understand who's really the people who are making things happen. All right, Adrian says, I have a feeling they are going to push the J&J vaccine because of the single dose, and I believe that I believe that it may not need to be refrigerated, right? They say it doesn't need as much refrigeration or any refrigeration at all. Yeah, let's push the one with less efficacy. Yeah, it supposedly, I think it's 60 or 70% effective rate. So it's interesting. Good morning, Mr. A. What a guan. We talking that patois now. All right. Don Johnson, the people being misinformed. I'm willing to bet whoever is behind the Reddit page is pretty well off. Yeah. Josh Sebastian, how you doing? Check out the AMC deal. The suits cashed out on their convertible debt. Yeah, I saw some of that. Earlier this week. They certainly didn't get burned. Yep. And I mean, even the push-ups in these stocks, the push-up in price in these stocks are actually giving the businesses more opportunity to raise money, raise capital, pledge some of their stock for certain things. So it's cool. Mr. Allen says he's not mad at Robinhood. Don Johnson says people are coming for Robinhood because they market themselves as we for the little people. Charles Schwab didn't say that. Yeah, but here's the thing. You can be for the little people, but you still have to adhere to regulations. So, I mean, again, I swear to God, y'all, I don't be trying to diss nobody. I really come on here with love, but some of the shit y'all say is like, y'all be clueless. Like, seriously, y'all don't have the knowledge to even understand some of the stuff, but y'all get in and y'all say, I'm going to make $1 million tomorrow, and you just started today. Again, that's entitlement. We don't understand how dangerous that is. If we keep going along that route, we're going to ruin even more generations to come. That's just how I feel about it. All right, so Eric says Philip Morris is being sued for patent infringement. All of these corporations get sued for patent infringement. I bet they settle and still keep the patent. But going back to what I was just saying, it's like, people don't understand. Every brokerage firm has to abide by the Securities and Trade Act of 1933, the Securities and Trade Act of 1934, oftentimes the Security and Trade Act of 1940, and anything else that has been thrown in the mix in between now and then. They still have to apply to the rules. Now, sadly, Robinhood is getting this focus on them. I get it. I mean, it's a story. It is. I think they'll be able to rebound back at some point, but who knows? Hey, Angela, how you doing? All right, Josh says, I heard profits don't matter. Yes, Josh, yes. So that's around the time when I started investing. So I started investing even before I got into the industry. And that was the tech bubble, y'all. That was the IPO. I mean, the internet bubble. A lot of internet companies were coming out, and they were saying they are the best thing since sliced bread. Cisco at one point was one of the most valued companies in the world. Around this time that Josh is mentioning, they also said Warren Buffett was washed up. Go figure. Warren Buffett's washed up. Old man, go home. Take your ball and go home. You don't know what you're talking about. Oh, there's a generational factor at play. Kind of goes back to that quote I was talking about. rest. But great point, Josh. Great point. Thank you. Well, laid out. How are you, sir? Don Johnson says, I think trading is more mainstream nowadays. It is. It is. Where investing is it? I agree. I've been investing for about 7 years and I've only sold out of one position. The stock market has been in a bull market since March 9th of 2009 also. We haven't had any real pullback. We haven't really had any real economic strife up until now with COVID. And many still believe COVID is short-lived. So, Josh must be talking about Tesla. And yes, Adrian, thank you for that. That was when that's how much Robinhood had to pay in that last fine. So again, a lot of these companies get fined. They don't want to smoke with the SEC because the SEC is coming for money. And by the way, Robinhood is not making any money right now. Robinhood is still in seed stage. They're still getting VC money. And I'm not sure of all of Robinhood's revenue streams, but they're commissionless. They're feeless. So they're making money probably off of the investments they hold, the interest they make off that, and they also are making money off of what's the facility they call it? It's basically when you lend, the lending facility is when you lend stocks to people to buy, and then you have to pay margin rates. Or when you lend stock for people to short. Right. Curtis Davis says people need to focus on buying quality stocks, not blimps on screen stocks. Yep, I agree. And even if this blimp goes long and it becomes not just a blimp, but like blimpity, how long is that going to last? A month, 2 months? Let's say it lasts a year. What happens after that year? And we're still dealing with COVID. Will GameStop be able to come back? We don't know. We don't know. Romaine J, how you doing, brother? Thanks for quick math, Marcus. Appreciate you. Yep. Don Johnson said the cheat code is the cheat code. The tax code is the cheat code. Shout out to Courtney, the Ivy investor. Me and Courtney actually cooking something up, y'all, for taxes. So stay tuned. We about to drop a bomb on y'all. Oh, Daryl D. Nice Nutter. How you doing, brother? I predict the market will crash in short order acquiring, the big short. Marcus Williams says, so can we do quick flips and make a quick boost with these Reddit moves? You can try. You can try. I mean, but I wouldn't recommend it for most because most don't have the skills to do it. Just like most don't have the skills to do an actual flip. So I love it when people watch these real estate shows and they see the guys do the flips and they're like, oh, that goes well. And then when you really get into the deal, they talk about holding costs and how the project went over schedule and how the project went over budget. They talk about that a little bit, but they kind of skim the surface. And then they with those over budget things, they talk about how they find out that the foundation was bad or that the windows have terrible insulation. And so they need to get the windows or the roof, what they thought was good was actually leaky and needs to be replaced. So, you when you go into these things, you have to try to factor in all the plays, all the problems ahead of time. Is that perfect? No, it's not. It's not. But you got to at least have to understand how you can pivot out of this and have enough wherewithal, capital wherewithal, to be able to sustain. Listen, they say $400 emergency will cripple most Americans. So if a $400 emergency will cripple you, you should be trying to trade or flip. Same thing with Bitcoin. Same thing with other things. We really got to get back to the basics, y'all. We want to try to be all cool. We want to be funny and be fly and all that. But at the end of the day, the basics, the fundamentals will always, always, always help you to get, or actually not help, will enable you to become wealthy. It's not these fly-by-night things. Look at the studies for lottery, right? Look at the studies for lottery. Most people who hit the lottery go broke. Not only do they go broke, their families and their lives are destroyed, usually because they can't handle that amount of cash because they don't have the discipline, education, or wherewithal to handle it. I am Cheryl LH. How you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, so let me make sure I get to this question. All right, so TK Blue, curious about your thoughts on AMC. I brought in low around $4 before the hype. I'm still holding on. You hit a lick, my friend. But that's the thing. You got positioned before there was even a position. Hear me again. You got positioned before there was even a position. So you have vision. I'm not a fan of AMC. I think it's a terrible business. And let me be clear. And I'm talking about right now. They're not making any money. They've been impacted by COVID. But I looked at it before. I want to say they were losing money before COVID even hit. All of these retail establishments are being ravaged by internet. The Netflix of the world, the Amazon Primes of the world. Like AMC has to still compete with all of those. People a lot of times don't want to go out. People have young children. They don't want to take them to the movie theater. I don't want to go to the movie theater with young children. And I'm saying I want to get my money's worth. You have to kind of factor in the fundamentals and the economics of the overall situation. The fundamentals, what are the fundamentals? The fundamentals are what's the business's business model. AMC's business model is they screen movies. They pay a percentage of that screening fee to back to the movie houses, and they make the majority of their money off of concessions. So they need butts in the theater to sell popcorn to sell Twizzlers to sell Tootsie Rolls to. I've never seen a Tootsie Roll. I haven't seen Tootsie Rolls in a movie theater in quite some time. But y'all know that stock is bubbling up this week as well. So the model to me, I love them. By the way, I love movies. I love going to the movies. When I was a kid, on a hot day, I would go pay my like $3.50 ticket or a $5 ticket, go to the movies, and I was staying there all day long. Nobody would know where I was. But I also had a movie theater literally across the street from my house. So I was fortunate in one regard in that way. So, I'm pulling up the chart of AMC now, but I wouldn't invest long term in AMC. Now, if you're good enough and you've been studying trading patterns and understand it, you can trade around it. I'm not mad at that. But I'm not the advocate for trading. I'm the advocate for investing. Because at the end of the day, even if you are a good trader, at the end of the day, 9 times out of 10, it's the investing that's going to take you over the top to become wealthy. 9 times out of 10. People don't realize that 95% of traders lose money. 95, not 9, not 5%, not 59%, but 95% of people that trade lose money. Are you the 5%? Maybe. Can you be the 5%? Maybe. What's the likelihood of you being the 5%? Highly improbable. But I'm never the one to tell folks that they can't achieve their dreams. I just tell folks to be careful that your dream is not following behind and mimicking somebody else's dream, because that's what we see a lot. All right, so give me a minute, TK Blue. I'm going to pull up AMC's chart real quick and put it on the screen. I apologize to my Instagram family. I can't share my screen over there with y'all just yet. Not in real time. And so everybody on my Facebook and my YouTube feed can see it live now. So AMC is coming up right now. I want to share that with everyone. Give me 1 second. Un momento. All right, voila. Should be there. Now, I talked about this the other day, and I talked about this on the video I did on YouTube explaining GameStop. You're seeing all these companies that have low volume. You're seeing all these companies with low volume. That means people are not interested in them. This is like the Cinderella story. Nobody was interested in this lady. Nobody asked her to the prom. Nobody was checking for her. She had no volume, right? Nobody was coming through. Nobody was sending her notes like yes, no, or maybe so. Nobody was thinking about Cinderella. And then all of a sudden, she got dressed up, went to the ball, and saw the dude who was really into her. Forget his name. That one guy. But that's the volume. All of you multiply those one guys by, let's say, 400 million. So all those so-called Prince Charming dudes came in and wanted to buy. All those people in Reddit organized wanted to buy. I believe all those Russian bots got involved too, because listen, we just had the Capitol insurrection by those homeland terrorists, January 6th. It's kind of out of a movie. And if anybody's ever watched a good action / take over the world movie, what always happens? They blow up some kind of tower, they do some kind of invasion, and they always try to tank the stock market. So I don't think it's beyond the realm possibility of saying that some other foreign interest is behind this. Now, y'all gonna say, Kamari, don't do the conspiracy thing. You don't like conspiracy theories, Kamari. But listen, weirder things have happened. I would have never thought we'd have Russian interference in the elections. So if Russians can't interfere in the elections, why is it so far-fetched that Russians can't interfere in the stock market? Again, especially behind all of these Reddit folks who are nameless, who are behind alias. Now, I believe they can be found. It might take some investigation, but on the surface, at first glance, I don't know, y'all. I don't know. All right, so I got AMC up on the screen. You can all see it here. When you look at this bottom line here that says SI, SI stands for short interest. That just means all the people that are shorting. All of these stocks, at least most of them, have super high interest in the last couple days / weeks. That's peculiar. So everybody wanted to rush in. And so as you know, when the price goes up, it goes against those who are shorting, because shorters are looking to make money when the stock goes down, right? So when the stock goes down, that's when shorters make money. When the stock goes up, that's when shorters lose money. In order to close their position, they didn't have to buy the stock. If y'all watched the video I posted the other day, y'all would understand all that. I'm assuming everybody watched the video. That was like homework. If you haven't watched it, go watch it now on my YouTube channel. It's called GameStop's Short Squeeze, or Analyzing GameStop Short Squeeze. And so when they have to buy back, it then pushes the stock up. So we're seeing that happen over and over and over again. Same thing with AMC. And again, the fundamentals of AMC don't make me, in my opinion, make for a good combination to create a great company or operate a great company, nor do the economic factors of COVID and everything that's going on. Now, I know that sometimes things don't always play out the way you think they would, or they may have, let's say, a different pathway, for lack of a better term. But it's got to make sense. Tell me how AMC is going to rebound after COVID's here to be a good company. Now, I want y'all to think about this. Back in November 20th, AMC was trading for $4.17. All right, so we are in the height of COVID. I'm going to change. So by the way, everybody, every one of these bars is it's a candlestick, and it represents a day's data, a day's worth of data, day's worth of information. All right, I just switched it to a month. So all of these candles represents a month's worth of data. Now, it just popped to $13. The last time it was $13 looks like it was back in May of 2019. The time it was above that was November of 2018. So this company hasn't really been popping for quite some time. Hasn't really been popping for quite some time. And again, just look at this. I got a couple indicators on the screen. You can ignore them, but just look at this bottom one here, the SI. It was all flat. Nobody was thinking about it. Nobody at all. And if I pull up, I bet if we go pull up, and I don't know if you can see this here. And so, right. So when you pull up their numbers, so in 2016, they made $111 million in profit on $3.2 billion. Again, another low margin business. They made 400. Did they make 400? Is that a negative? Okay, they had a negative. Right. So in 2017, they had a negative $487 million loss. They lost money in 2017, y'all, on $5 billion in revenue. In 2018, they made 110 billion on again 5.4 billion in revenue. And then in 2019, they lost again. So even before COVID, this wasn't a well-run company. So I'm not a big fan of AMC. I don't get it. I mean, I get it. People are trying to manipulate the market. I get it. But, you know, they're not great companies. Not great companies at all. B-Days, how you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hold on to everybody here. Rich Money, how you doing? E. Blinknick says I got the family pass from AMC to see what we wanted for the year before COVID. It was a steal. Gotcha. The Prince. Right. Roswell's destiny in Batman was for Bay to take over the stock market. Yeah, is it so many others? Wasn't that the deal in Die Hard and the Nakatomi building on Christmas Day? And he said they will license their movies to Netflix, HBO, etc. Yeah. I mean, so yeah, you got to think about it. Like, I think there's other things at play here, but this isn't a long-term thing. Now, I showed y'all Urban One the other day, right? I showed you how it went bananas back in June, and then it fell by the time August got here. We're starting to see a little interest now, but it's still not that great. Now, I just switched the screen, and now we're looking at GameStop. See this big run because we're looking at the month. Went from roughly $14 all the way up to $318. Now, in pre-market trading the other day, because remember, regular market trading is from 9:30 to 4, but in pre-market trading around 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning the other day, it hit $500. The only way a stock should really hit $500 or go up in that massive amount is that they had some new revenue developments happen that would lead to higher profits for them to keep more money in their pocket after they paid everything off. That wasn't the case. This just happened because some people organized and got together and said, hey, we want the stock to go up. And again, they are portraying it that it's, the little guy against the hedge fund. But I ain't quite convinced, folks. I mean, what do y'all think? Do y'all think this is all little people, the average Joe and the average Jane? Or do you think maybe there could be some foreign interference / institutional money in there working its way through? All right, so let's talk about GameStop. In 2016, they had revenues of $8.6 billion. They had a profit of $353 million. All right, wow. In 2017, $8.5 billion in revenues. That's what they did in sales. Everything, all the games they sold, all the game consoles they sold, it all added up to $8.5 billion. The net profit was $34 billion. 2018, $8.29 billion. They had a loss of negative $738 billion. So if they had a loss in 2018, well before COVID, what does that tell you? 2019, lost revenues dropped $6.4 billion. Net profit, $407 million. So they lost. Let me repeat that again. They lost $407 billion in 2019. And then next year comes 2020. We know what happened. We know the deal. I can't believe y'all, any of y'all that's watching me, that watch me on a regular basis, would believe that this is just all a bunch of people from Reddit. And that's the narrative the media is playing out. Very interesting. Very interesting. And we see the same thing. Low volume, high spike interest, or excuse me, short interest. So people are opportunistic. People are taking advantage of this opportunity. Fear and greed runs the market, y'all. Fear and greed. Emotions run the market. Emotions run the stock market. So again, oops, I didn't mean to have that up there the whole time. Sorry. So again, I don't see this fervor, this need for GameStop why people are buying it. But again, I'm not mad at the youth either, or the millennials. They want to do it their way. They want to get to the bag. They want to create their own paradigm. But at the end of the day, there's a saying in investments, especially in statistics, everything reverts back to the mean. So unless something really, really changes, everything stays the same or goes back the same. You may have some fluctuations, but it all kind of goes back the same. All right. So Don Johnson says, I have Apple products, I have Apple stocks, don't need their products. Oh, that sounds like an Android hater right there, y'all. All right, as Edith says, is Robinhood for the little people? They acquire their money by selling customers' information. They are for themselves. Exactly. As Edith's on point. Robinhood and Citadel selling customers' information. Well, Citadel's a hedge fund. They are different than Robinhood. Robinhood is a brokerage account. Robinhood is the people that actually handles the transactions of buying and selling. Citadel actually devises investment strategies, and they go out and find clients and customers to actually invest in them. And Citadel makes money off of the fees they charge, which is usually a percentage of assets under management. You're a girl. Oops, my bad. I'm sorry. Listen, don't me too. I don't want no smoke. I don't want any smoke. I'm sorry. Because Romaine, you come to hang out with us quite often. Y'all go for it. So, well, Gary Vee said 401ks are bad. Yes, I also put out a video earlier this week with my response to Gary Vee saying 401ks are overrated. Leo Lady, how you doing? The incredible Black Rebel, my man. How you doing? Yeah, so I put that out too. Oh, Romaine from Philly. Okay, cool. Currently reside in Kakalaki. All right, we got a whole conversation going on, y'all. All right, James Broder, Sheldon Movies. That's where I was at. James grew up a block over from me. We played basketball together many days. Elise Marie Preston Johnson. I'm guessing that's a tag. Tag. Nobody's thinking of her? Who we talking about? No, that's Trading Views. No, they album. I don't know if I'm ready to show y'all my Thinkorswim account yet. Ain't no money in there though. I got like a grand in there sitting. I've been meaning to get back to start trading heavy again. I just haven't had the time. Hey Chrissy, how you doing? Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining us. Y'all having a whole conversation. Like this is like a whole networking opportunity with y'all. All right, so Ms. Edith says, Kamari, unsure about opportunistic. I purchased GameStop June 17, 2020. I bet you brought it because you thought GameStop was going to jump when outside opened back up. So it's still opportunistic. Opportunistic isn't a word that's always used in a bad light. But Ms. Edith, let me holler at you. You got a couple dollars. Can I borrow $1 today? I'm glad you pay you back on Tuesday. I'm trying to buy a hamburger. All right, so James says, I think people are tired of the insider trading going on, for example, Rep Keller, Lawfare, and Purdue, amongst others. Yeah, there's been insider trading going on in Congress since the longest time. But here's the thing, there's a difference. Insider trading that's going on inside of Congress is not pumping up and manipulating stock price. And I'm not saying they're right. They're not, but they're two different issues. I think people are just fed up overall with thinking that it's the rich against the poor. I mean, we see this all the time. If you go back to the Great Depression, where they kidnapped the Lindbergh baby, the poor always get in their head. And listen, again, there are a lot of structural inequality. Well, with a man like a A.G. Gaskins, again, hopefully everybody knows who A.G. Gaskins is. I did a whole review on him on my YouTube page on his book, Black Type. So with a man like A.G. Gaskins, in the Jim Crow South, or actually in the Jim Crow era down south, was able to amass millions of dollars while working in coal mines, while selling insurance, all by just looking at the opportunities that were in front of him. That tells me that anybody can do it. That tells me that anybody can do it. You just got to want to do it. You just have to want to do it. I mean, again, we like to complain about what's wrong, but where's your work? Where's your product? Where's your designs? Where is your work at? So if we're not going to be talking about the work and the best possible work we can do and being our best possible selves, then yeah, people complain about the rich. Go right ahead. But here's the thing. Most millionaires are not silver spoon babies, meaning they didn't get a trust fund inheritance. They say about 80%. Yes, trust fund babies, silver spoon babies do exist. When you look at the DuPonts and the people that found J&J, the Walmart family, the Rothschild family, the Rockefeller family, the Kennedy family, there are many that are out there. But 80% of millionaires are self-created. And I hate the term self-created, but I'm using it in this context so y'all can understand. So if 80% of the millionaires can do it, why can't you? Or are you busy sitting on the couch at home, watching TV and eating bonbons and drinking a beer every day when you come home from work? And listen, that's no hate. If that's what you want to do, I'm cool with it. If all you want to do is watch TV all day long, I'm cool with it. If you're cool with it, I'm cool with it. I do know that, however, that will not help to create wealth for you, your family, or your next generations, nor your community. And if we're going to sit here, and most of our audience is Black, if we're going to sit here and complain, we gotta get busy. I don't care if it's just for us. Do y'all realize if you get, let's say, 20 to 50 people in your family to buy food together, that could be a major savings? Right? So it only got to be on the investment side. How can you save money in massive amounts? So how do you create a food co-op with your family? And I know a lot of families are in shambles right now. Don't get me wrong. I get it. What I'm saying is, where there's a will, there's a way. Then you add the short-term companies that bail out like oh God, so you're saying like what all the people say, like all the rhetoric. And so I'm going to pick on you a little bit, Jimmy, because we homies and we grew up together. But here's the thing. The auto companies, they got bailed out. All of those companies back in 2008 got bailed out, and they also paid the money back. They also created massive jobs. So if you let them go under, you lose massive jobs, and guess what happens? You potentially have anarchy in the streets. Because there's nothing good about having a bunch of unemployed people running around the streets broke with no money. Now, again, if we want to talk about strictly from a structural standpoint, yes, a lot of things are bad. I'm not arguing that. What I am arguing is what do we do with what we have? How do we start where we are and begin with what we already have? That's what I'm talking about. I don't want to complain about the man no more, y'all. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of energy. We should be figuring out ways that we can create our own family empires. And again, you can sit and watch TV all the time and go out and get high and buy new cars and buy fancy clothes. And all of these things never help the people in your community, never employ the people in your community. Right? If they do, it's at like this super menial job. What do you think is going to come from that? All right, so James Brunner said, so I think people are looking for a way to get a quick, yes, entitlement. There is no get rich quick scheme that works. Go out there, get some education, bust your ass, get dirty, and get to work. Period. Excuse my language. I'm just playing with If you know I like to joke a little bit. James Brunner said, so I joined Reddit, and I'm already seeing that a lot of certain companies to raise the stock forward being one of them. Full disclosure, y'all know I own some Forward. I haven't seen a whole lot of Reddit groups from Forward, but I don't doubt it either. What was that that just came across my screen? T. Glizzy, how you doing? How are you, sir? Oh man, Miss Edith, you spoiled me. Thank you, Miss Edith. So I had to look. Somebody sent me a cash app. Miss Edith. Miss Edith likes to pop up on me and send me some cash apps every now and again. I appreciate you for that, Miss Edith. I guess I should start putting out my cash app. I said I'm going to do a program at some point. I just haven't gotten to it yet. But so if anybody wants to go or match Miss Edith, she just hit me $50. So if y'all want to match that, go ahead and rock out. And I will give you my cash app. But yeah, I mean, again, at the end of the day, we got to be about the people. We got to be about making change. Nobody ever changed anything just by sitting behind waiting on anybody to do it for them. Nobody. So what you want to do, folks? What you want to do? All right, who has any more questions? Anybody have any more questions? Let me see what folks have to say. So Ms. Edith says, I want to publicly thank the Finance Rebel for my financial mentoring. I have learned so much and executed because of the knowledge learned. Oh man, thank you. You know what? The Kaizen investor sent me a cash app not too long ago because of something she watched on this show as well. And she chimes in a lot also, so I'm definitely thankful for her. B Days, what book? I mentioned the book. Sometimes I get going and I don't be thinking. Jasmine Leonard, how are you? Welcome. Past Cam 28, how are you? Hope I said your name right. The store, welcome. Iconic Sag, welcome. I talk about index funds all the time. T Grizzly 813, how you doing? How you make out with that trade, T Grizzly? Why don't more people talk about index funds? I talk about index funds all the time. I love ETFs. I was previously ETF portfolio manager. I love ETFs. By the way, for everybody on IG, if you want to match what Ms. Edith has done, the cash app is CAMARIELLISSR. So Kamari Ellis Sr. at Cash App. Since Ms. Edith is giving, I'm going to accept. But you know, I talk about ETFs all the time. I love ETFs. ETFs make investing fun. Godwin's, thank you for joining us. Thank you for always being here. You still holding your T? All right. Don't hold it too long. Don't be afraid. Have you taken any profit yet, T? For y'all that are holding, that got it with the hype with the rest of the people, it's cool to bring y'all money up. But what happens in these classic pumping up scenarios is the money goes up, the stock price goes up, and then people that are pumping it up say, I'm going to take my money out. And then the stock price usually collapses. We saw it with Urban One last year. We see it all the time. All right, so please take some profits. At least get your original investment back. Hold that safe and secure. Why? If y'all think about what Warren Buffett says, the name of the game in investing is rule number one, not to lose money. Rule number two is not to forget rule number one. So if you can at least get your money, at least if you can get your money back, you're still positive, and then let everything else run, and you're playing with the house's money. All right, still holding that put. Okay, cool. All right, so I see I have a question here. What book did I talk about a book today, y'all? Was it today or was it before B Days? All right, so I appreciate that. Ms. Edith. Did I talk about a book today, y'all? I don't remember that. It's possible. What book we talking about, though, B Days? All right, so it's 1:30, y'all. We've been on for an hour and a half. All right, so Ms. Edith also says, I also appreciate your invited guests, the student loan doctor, Vanessa Braxton, who owns Black Mama Tea, are my top guest speakers. All right, cool. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you for that. Stacy, how you doing? Welcome over there on IG Land. Yeah, Vanessa is I love talking to Vanessa. She's such a go-getter. She's about her coins. I know people are job shaming these days, but she showed how she went from a job, right? She went from a job. She got it. She went to college. She got a job, and then she started a business. I mean, there's clues to this thing, but a lot of times social media wants to shame people for having a job because they just want to sell you a course for $5,000. I don't get it. And yeah, Sonia, the student loan doctor, like Sonia's journey is phenomenal. Appreciate you coming out. You are straight shooter. What was happening? Yeah, except for the basketball idiot shot. Hey man, don't be mad. A lot of them went in. I wish all of them went in. A lot of them went in. So listen, y'all. What do y'all think about this? Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. There was one more stock we were supposed to talk about because this one has me tickled. Tootsie Roll. All right, let's go back to the screen real quick. I wanted to talk about Tootsie Roll, y'all. Shout out to the 69 boys. I always kind of hated that song, but now it's like embedded in my head. I mean, it's a classic, though. I mean, if anybody was partying during the 90s. All right, so let's look at Tootsie Roll. Got a big spike this month. Before that, it was just kind of by and by. All right, so we saw Tootsie at about $29 as of it hit a high of $43. Excuse me, no, it hit a high of $59, almost $60, y'all. And what happened? A whole lot of short interest happened because Tootsie Roll hasn't been doing. Let me see if I can find this here. It hasn't been doing a whole lot of business, y'all. So 2016, 521 million, has 67 million in profit. 500 million, 80 million in profit. 518 million in revenue, again, 56 million in profit. And 527. It's been constant. They got like a 12% profit margin, but it's been constant. Nothing has really changed. They did just have a good quarter, though, in Q3 of 2000. So third quarter last year, 2000. But again, I don't see the developments of why this stock should jump so high. Why all of a sudden? But nobody thinks this is manipulation. Nobody has thought that maybe this could be foreign interference. I don't know, y'all. This is interesting to say the least. But listen, here's the deal, y'all. If y'all really serious, I say the same thing all the time. If you're really serious about investing your money, get into it for the long haul. You want to start with a track record, start with a time horizon of 10 years, which means that you are not going to be thinking about this money for at least 10 years. Being Artrice, how are you? Happy Saturday. Welcome. 10 years. Put that money aside for 10 years. Don't plan on spending it. Just put it aside and invest it. The reason why is because it gives you the opportunity to the monies and the stocks to go through the market cycles. You're going to have these short-term blips. You're going to have these short-term anomalies, short-term anomalies. However, let's project out 10 years from now. We'll look back at this whole AMC GameStop thing and we'll laugh. It won't even be a factor. I guarantee that. I bet you all the money in my pocket. I don't think I have any money in my pocket, but Miss Edith just sent me $50. So I bet you that $50 she just cash at me again. Thank you again, Miss Edith. So we gotta again start thinking about these things or how we're going to do things to put ourselves, our family, and our communities in better positions. All right. So I don't have too much more to say. I know y'all don't want to listen to me blab all day long, but I appreciate you all here. Thanks for watching the Finance Rebel Show. I am here every week, at least on Wednesdays and Saturdays, right? Wealthy Wednesdays on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Wealthy Conversations on Saturday at noon. Again, Wealthy Wednesdays at 8, Wealthy Conversations at noon. You know, we busting it up. We try to figure out how to get to the real bag, not this fake bag that everybody's talking about, the long-term bag. No need in getting rich quick. Let's get rich slow and stay rich. All right. So again, thank all of you. Y'all have a great night, great weekend. Enjoy yourselves. Do some reading, get some rest. Health is wealth. And I'll see y'all next time. Remember, tomorrow I do the Black Wealth Project. So Black Wealth Project at 7 p.m. tomorrow, Sunday. And our topic is, should tricking be a line item in your budget? So I'll see you all there tomorrow, Wednesday, and also next Saturday. Y'all all have a great and prosperous weekend. So long, everybody.